Hi there. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to ask you an important question. Are you wondering why your hard work isn't reflecting in your bank account? If so, I've got something that could change the game for you. With my Digital Product Accelerator one-on-one coaching program, I'm on a mission to help entrepreneurs like you bank consistent revenue without sacrificing your time or sanity. Imagine shifting from 90% client-facing work to enjoying consistent revenue from your digital products, all while reclaiming your time. You already know that you don't need another course, and a one-size-fits-all approach isn't going to cut it. What you need is a strategic, long-term plan tailored just for you. So if you're ready to build the profitable, freedom-giving business you've dreamed of, apply to work with me by going to destinycop.com/apply. I cannot wait to learn more about you and your business. Welcome to the Course Creators MBA podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Destiny Kopp, and I help business owners increase their revenue with digital products and automated sales funnels. In this podcast, we tell the stories of ordinary business owners just like you. We talk about their story and how they got started, the challenges they've experienced, and how they overcame them. These are discussions with real people who understand what it's like to own an online course or membership business. Before we begin our show today, I want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by our flagship Course in a Box program, which helps you create your revenue-generating course in less than a week. Course in a Box is available on AppSumo at a special deal, and you can learn more about Course in a Box by visiting the link in the show notes. Let's jump right into our show. And today, my special guest is Venese Lau. Venese runs an events and marketing company in Tokyo, Japan. She has been an entrepreneur since she was 19, running all kinds of offline and online businesses. She is the host and face of Your Entrepreneurial Resources, where she helps entrepreneurs start, grow, and scale their businesses, connecting them with the right mentors, resources, and tools. Venese, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to chat with you today.
So why don't you take a few minutes and tell the audience a little bit more about your entrepreneur journey and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually just fell into entrepreneurship out of the blue. When I was around 19, I moved from, I was living in Australia at the time. So I moved from Australia to Japan and I was alone. I had no friends. I didn't know anybody. So I decided to, get myself out there and started attending all kinds of events. And through that, I met a lot of people. And for some reason, I thought, you know what, instead of attending them, why don't I join them and not join them? Why don't I start hosting them? And I started running events, meeting all these different people. And I started to help international brands like Red Bull, Moet, Budweiser, Brooklyn Brewery, and all these international entertainment brands and fashion brands, and helping them bring their presence into Japan. And that was incredible. It was a lot of fun. I also helped the local government, embassies, tourism boards, and run all kinds of events. And, it was all fun and it was going very well. I was supposed to help out with the Olympics as well, but COVID hit, right? So everything just kind of disappeared in a moment. And I was like, oh gosh, how am I going to, continue on with my different businesses? And I decided to turn online and see how I could potentially help other entrepreneurs. And through talking to different people, I realized that a lot of entrepreneurs are just super overwhelmed and there's so much information, there's so much, content, so many YouTube channels, and there's just so many things going on online. And it's hard to know what to focus on and what to hone in on. So I decided to start Your Entrepreneurial Resources. And just like what you said, connecting entrepreneurs with the right mentors, resources, and tools.
So I have to ask you, what made you want to move from Australia to Japan?
Yeah. So actually, so I was born in Hong Kong, and when I was around 8, I thought, oh, I don't like the educational system here whatsoever. I don't want to have to memorize textbooks after textbooks. It was not practical at all. So I decided, okay, I want to go to Australia. And I was lucky that my parents were supportive. I got a scholarship to go to boarding school. So I moved to Australia when I was 10, 11 by myself, which was scary. And then when I turned 18, I thought, okay, I think I've gotten enough out of Australia. It was fun, but I'm ready for the next adventure. And yeah, Japan has always been amazing and it's super interesting and different from any other country in the whole entire world. So I thought, yeah, Japan is my next destination. And I've been here for, oh my gosh, 9 years now.
So is your family still in Hong Kong?
Yeah, they are. They are.
Okay. All right. So basically, your business that you are doing with all the events and helping people with events, and yeah, we know what happened with the Olympics when COVID hit. So it
Yeah.
basically disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay. So from there, you decided, you have to pivot and you started putting together the Your Entrepreneurial Resources. And in
Mhm.
here, tell us a little bit about how you structured that business, how you've gone about building it in the past, year and a couple of months. I'm assuming that you've been working on it for about that point in time. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it was actually just listening and talking to people. All of my businesses, I run all kinds. I've run online e-commerce stores. I've run an agency. I have a blog. I have all these different things. I have a talent management company. I have all these things going on. And a lot of it was really about talking to people, understanding what is lacking, what is missing in the market, and kind of trying like knowing that I have the ability to fill that gap and just entering that. So for your entrepreneur resources, it was very much about just talking to different entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, small business owners, understanding what is what they're struggling with and how I could help them. And to be honest, I had no idea what I was gonna do in the very beginning because I still had all these different things going on. And I was like, okay, I think COVID won't last forever. I'm sure everybody was like on the same boat as me. But I'm so glad that I like listened and I, talked to different people and I managed to kind of shift my business model and start your entrepreneur resources. And since then, I have, different programs that I'm running, although they're still very new and not super big, but they've been amazing because I work with entrepreneurs that I know need my services. And I've got my courses as well, got my lower ticket offers, got a lot of different things that I'm just putting out there. And I've got my podcast as well. So just a lot of exciting things happening.
So let me just, we're going to kind of walk the audience through how you did this.
Mhm.
Where did you find those entrepreneurs or your ideal customer, the ones that you wanted to help? Where did you find them to actually have those conversations with them?
Yeah, I think the biggest outlet for me was Facebook groups. So I know probably everyone is in 10, 20, 30 Facebook groups. And I really hone in and focus on maybe around 5 to 10. So I would just go into the Facebook groups every day or every other day, go in there, see what people are talking about, what kind of questions they might have. And I try to just help them if I can. And, see like try to answer their questions there, or if they want one-on-one chats, I would be happy to hop on a quick 15-minute chat with them just to see how I could help them and just listen to what they might need.
So what were they telling you? Or what were you seeing in the Facebook groups, or what were they telling you in these one-on-one type quick calls you were having with them?
Yeah. A lot of the time it was just people telling me that they're overwhelmed. So I
Mm-hmm.
base a lot of what I do around that overwhelm aspect. I'm sure nowadays I think it's more and more, you see it everywhere. Everyone's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, overwhelm, overwhelm. So I do base a lot of my things around what my clients or what people I talk to are struggling with. So information overload, as well as false information out there, or really high prices that they can't afford. I hear that quite a lot, like I obviously I know there are courses and programs out there that are amazing that cost thousands of dollars, but a lot of new entrepreneurs, they don't have the money to invest into those kind of courses. So I hear that a lot. So I try to, like understand that they need something different. And that's why I try to do something that could fill that gap.
So I want to come back to that in just a second, what you're doing with your entrepreneurial resources. But you mentioned, and I didn't catch them all. I tried to write them down, but I didn't catch them all. You mentioned several other businesses that you were either involved in or running yourself or had launched yourself. So tell us a little bit more about your whole portfolio.
Yeah, so I started out running the events and marketing company, and I still do that. And within the company, we do PR as well. And I ran a talent management agency. So I don't really do that anymore. But so basically in Japan, like a lot of people are not very familiar with English or Western cultures. So it is difficult for companies and brands in Japan to approach international brands or international influencers. So we were kind of the middleman that were connecting local companies with international influencers and vice versa, international brands with local influencers. So that is something else that I do. Also have an e-commerce store. That was kind of like a side hustle. It was fun because I was selling party clothes. So it was easy to kind of link that into my events sector. But I sold that e-commerce store at the beginning of COVID because I just got very busy and I just couldn't keep going. And I wanted to really hone in and help people with your entrepreneurial resources.
Okay. So definitely a lot of experience since, kind of launching and starting companies, but now it sounds like you're almost completely focused on your entrepreneurial resources. Tell us a little bit about if somebody goes to their site, to your website, what can they expect? How can you help them?
Yeah, so I try very hard to put a lot of the information in simplify a lot of information and put them into one blog post. So it can be a little bit lengthy, but I feel like that's what a lot of people might need at the end of the day. So for example, if someone goes on Google and they're looking for, Facebook tips, I'm sure there are, millions, if not billions of websites about Facebook tips. And what I try to do is just to summarize a lot of the main information and put them into the blog posts that I have. So I have blog posts strictly around, the overall Facebook tips I have. And then I have very specific blog posts about, certain features or functions of Facebook and other social media platforms. And I also, my main thing is connecting entrepreneurs, right? So I've got a library, kind of like a directory. So instead of people digging around the internet saying, okay, I want to find a coach, or I want a course, I want a program around this certain topic, they just come into the directory and say, okay, so I want to learn more about course creation. I want something that's a course. Then I have a few options and I'll say, hey, look at these. These are amazing. And Destiny's got their course in there as well because I've checked it out. It's amazing. And, that's how I manage to connect entrepreneurs with different resources.
And you also, Venese, also have some of your own online courses too on this website. So tell us a little bit about that and the process that you went through to develop them. Like, how did you determine there was a need in the market? Why did you create them? And just walk us through your launch. I threw a lot at you, but we'll take it step by step here.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds great. So I think the first course I ever launched was called Online Business Success Bundle. It was not something that I had intended to create, but again, through my conversation, like honestly, I have a sheet of every single conversation I've had since the beginning. And I think there are over 350 people that I've talked to. I know some people might be like, wow, that's a lot of people. How do you have that much time to talk to people? And a lot of it, maybe around 20%, 30% of those people are potential clients and also people that are my ideal audience. And the rest are partners, which I can talk about a little bit more as well, because I think collaboration is key to success. But anyways, back to the course. I was just talking to different people that had like struggles or different questions that they needed help with, and I would hop on these calls with them, and I started seeing a pattern. Most of these people were completely new entrepreneurs, or they're aspiring entrepreneurs that are planning to quit their 9 to 5, or they're just ready to get started, super passionate, ready to get their voices out there. And they struggle so much because they just have no clue what the first step is, what the second step is. They think creating a website is very complicated. They don't know what social media to focus on. And again, that overwhelming, information overload, all the overwhelm factors out there and all these different things, it just became too much for them. So I decided to put together this tiny little bundle where I walk them through, first step, like ignore everything else, just don't even worry about what everyone else is saying or what might be, the shiny object syndrome. Like ignore all of those and just focus on this one thing at the first step. Do the first step and then go to the second step, and so on and so forth. So it was born out of my conversations with different aspiring entrepreneurs and new entrepreneurs.
So is the online business success bundle, is that like a mini course?
Yeah, it is like a mini course that was quite low ticket offer. So people could easily just grab it and just get started right away with creating their online presence.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about how you've sold it. How did you launch it, and tell us a little bit about that process?
Yeah, for sure. So I wasn't intending to make, millions of millions of sales with that. I was very much just creating that to help different people. So actually, in the very beginning, I was giving it away for free. So I gave it away for free to about 10 people. And I asked them to take go through the bundle and let me know what they think about it, ways that I could improve it. Because for me, I'm not 100% comfortable with selling something that I'm not sure if people would benefit from. So I thought, okay, I should make sure that it is, good and people can learn a lot from it and it's worth the price. And I put it out there. And the 10 people, they were very kind. They gave me a lot of feedback, and I tweaked the course, tweaked the different lessons and the worksheets and everything. And then, yeah, so that was kind of the first moment. And then I also, again, the uncomfortable, like I'm not a very salesy person. I get very nervous when it comes to selling something. So it's very much about being comfortable doing what you love, right? So I wanted to price it somewhere that people would be comfortable spending the money, especially for new entrepreneurs that might not have the budget. So I priced it very low in the beginning. And when I hop on calls with people, I would say, I'll help them answer their questions. I'd say, hey, like I've got this, very low ticket offer. If you want, to get access, it's, at this price at the moment. It can help you to figure out exactly what to do next and, every single step that you need to take to be able to build your online presence. And from, like a lower price, and then I slowly price it higher and higher. And I believe now it's at $97, which is still not a very high, price for a product, but I'm comfortable with it. And I know that it's helping people, and I'm happy to be able to do that with my product.
So very good. And you have some other courses too, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about those and the process that you went through to create them.
Yeah, for sure. So that was my first one, my online business success bundle. And then I started realizing that people that I talked to, they became people that weren't so much completely new entrepreneurs. They became, people that have been out there for a little while. They're just not getting clients. They're not, generate the first sale, or they're not sure how to turn, a low ticket offer to possibly a higher ticket offer through different things like order bumps, upsells, cross promotion and things like that. So every single time I hop on a call or I comment on Facebook groups or I see different people's questions online, my wheels were turning, right? I was like, okay, I think you could do this, and what about that? And I had all these ideas, and I know they worked because I've used them in my business, like different businesses I've done, and I decided to start writing them down. Like I mentioned before, upsells, order bumps, affiliate, all those different ideas. And after a while, I got, I think, around 60 ideas on this, just on my computer and the notes section. I just have all these different ideas. And I thought, okay, so people obviously are struggling to make more sales or even make their first sale. People are struggling to get clients. So what I could possibly sell them, or even, not even in a selling way, but more in a, be of service, like how can I help them? I decided to put together my next product, which was making money online bundle. I don't know why I love calling things bundles. So I created that, which had a bunch of different like sections about, different affiliate marketplaces where you could put your product out there. I think I've got a section that's got 101 plus ways to making more money online, and then different ways to get clients, different places to look for clients. Just this like huge, amount of tips and resources that I just kind of put into this bundle. And again, it's very low ticket offer. And when I decided to put it out there, I thought, okay, so who would be the one, like the ideal audience that would be interested in this product? And I approached the people that had purchased the online business success bundle, because that's kind of the next step. And I just basically launched it, and I said, hey, if you're interested, check it out. I'm pre-launching it right now, so it's very, very affordable. And I think out of 50 people or so that I emailed, around 10-15 people actually got the product right away, like got the bundle right away. And I was pretty happy with that. I knew, there are people that need it. So yeah, then I just basically put the bundle out there, and it is currently the upsell that I have with a lot of the different products and freebies that I have. So it's just kind of like an evergreen machine that's just running in the background, and people are just, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, someone got the making money online bundle. It just makes you happy, right?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of, online courses.
Yeah.
So one thing I really love about everything that you've said here is you have done a tremendous amount of market research. And you mentioned that you had, 350 people approximately that you've surveyed. And you also mentioned something about, 20 to 30% of those were like either potential students or clients, but 70% of them were collaborators. Can you walk us and tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, absolutely. I think, oh gosh, this is my favorite topic. I love collaborating with other entrepreneurs. It is such an amazing thing. And I just get so much energy out of talking and just connecting with people all over the world. So I think that no matter what kind of business you're in, you have to understand that you need to build that connection with different people, and not just because it will bring you sales or anything like that. It's not just a money transaction or that kind of relationship, but having other entrepreneurs out there that are doing similar things to what you're doing right now can truly be so amazing, and you can cheer each other on and be each other's cheerleaders. And, when someone is going through a launch, for example, you can help them out and, mention it on your Instagram story, your Facebook, your Twitter, wherever you want. And then in return, they might also be able to help you and do the same. So, for example, podcast interviews, just like what we're doing right now, I love it. I can be on your podcast, you can come onto mine, and then I can promote your products. I remember I read one of your articles and then I shared on Facebook because I was like, wow, this is amazing. And like supporting each other, because I really don't believe in, the market being too small for us to all be eating each other's like clients or something. It's an amazing space, and there's so much going on. There's so many things out there, and I think it's so important for us to learn to collaborate. Like collaboration over competition 100% every single day. So yeah, a lot of the people that I've talked to throughout the few months and year plus time of me being in the entrepreneurial space has been just connecting with people, mentioning, collaborating through podcasts, mentioning each other on social media, writing guest posts for each other. There's so many ways to boost each other's visibility through connections. And I think that is so incredible. And I love doing that.
Hey there, Destiny here, and I'm the host of the Creators MBA podcast. And this episode is brought to you by HelloContent.shop, your go-to destination for content creation in your online digital product business. I understand how busy you are as an online business owner. I am right there with you. And that is why I have filled our Hello Content Shopify store with low-cost digital products that you can use as a lead magnet or part of your paid programs like your online courses or memberships. We also have marketing templates like email swipe files and social media templates designed to save you time and money. So whether you're looking to streamline your content strategy, enhance your digital products, or just save some precious time, I've got you covered, my friend. Now visit the HelloContent.shop today and take the first step towards effortless content creation. And that's obviously, just so everybody knows, that's how you and I met, because you reached out to me and we kind of took the relationship from there. And I'm like you, I love collaborating with other people, because I think that, the more you give out in the world, the more you'll get. I mean, it'll always come back to you. It's kind of like that boomerang effect. So I definitely appreciate that outreach that you did. And I do it all the time too, because I'm a big believer in it, just like you are. So let me ask you this. You have a lot going on, and you're building this new business that you created just in the past year or so, based on what you kind of pivoted out of COVID. What do you see as next steps in your business?
Yeah, I think that's such a great question. And it is one that I'm still challenging myself to continue to think. And, it's never going to be predictable, right? Like the future, obviously. And I think it is, first of all, very important to be flexible. Things are not going to be easy. This year for me, actually, earlier this year, I lost my mom. And, I think first on the 31st of December, I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm creating this entire plan. It's going to be perfect. I'm going to be doing this and that. And then I got the news. I lost my mom really suddenly. And for 2 months, I really couldn't, do much. And that's okay too. I think a lot of the time entrepreneurs are very hard on yourselves. You kind of, like you have this plan and you wake up in the morning, even if you don't feel up to it, you kind of like force yourself to get into that mind, like that zone. And sometimes we need to be a little bit more flexible and understanding of ourselves. And for me, I think that my, like in the near future, I think I'll continue on working on Your Entrepreneurial Resources, continue on collaborating with amazing entrepreneurs. And at the same time, I am planning to delegate a little bit more. So I'm going to outsource because I've got, different things going on with my company as well, with events kind of coming back a little bit. I've got, like different things happening over there. So I think delegation is definitely super important for every single entrepreneur, especially solopreneurs that are, behind the scenes and running everything. So yeah, definitely going to be outsourcing and continuing on and building my businesses.
I want to go back to something you said at the beginning about it's okay if things don't go out exactly as you
Mhm.
plan. I know you had something that happened in your life that, you had to take some time off for, and that's completely understandable.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that's happened to people who are listening. I know that's happened to me in, my life, where I had to take, 6 months plus off from a business.
Mhm.
So, what advice, Venice, do you have for other online course creators or entrepreneurs out there? You have a ton of experience in launching various things. You've obviously had some ups and downs and things that have happened in your life. What advice do you have for them?
I think the most important thing, I have half of two advices put together, if that makes sense. Um, I think the most important thing is to validate your idea. Um, and I don't mean it in the way that's, do your market research and, keep doing your market research and jump on calls with a million different people. I mean that truly because when I first started one of my businesses, which was an app, I thought, yes, I love this idea. People are going to pay for it. I'm going to make so much money, and everyone is downloading apps these days. I've got, this is perfect. I love it. And I didn't validate it at all. And I just talked to my friends, and obviously, your friends are going to be supportive and say, yeah, that's a good idea. And I truly lost so much money and time and energy building that app that just completely flopped. So earlier on when I was talking about, talking to your ideal audience and, going into Facebook groups and all these different forums and platforms, talking to people, it's not because I assumed that it would work. It's because I truly learned through my failure. I truly learned that it's so important to just put yourself out there, talk to people, talk to your ideal audience. And not just that, you have to know that there's a way of monetizing it, because if you are running a business, you need to make money. Otherwise, it's just a hobby. That otherwise you can just, there's no point in saying that you are running a business because you're not, you need to monetize it somehow. And the second half of my one tip is to just do it. I know it's contradicting to my first tip of validating your idea, but I think a lot of people are such perfectionists, and that is a bad thing. We should not be perfectionists. There's no perfect logo, perfect website, perfect day, perfect slogan, color scheme, and all of those things. We can get very much caught up in that entire mindset of just like, oh yeah, I have to get it perfect before I can put it out there. But that will never come. So instead of getting stuck on the small details, just get your business, get your idea out there, after a little bit of validation. Don't spend, months and months doing market research. Yeah, just put yourself out there, ask for feedback, talk to people, collaborate, connect with people. And then, yeah, I think that is definitely one of the advice that I would give to any kind of entrepreneur.
So thank you for sharing the story about the app that you worked on. Is it still out there, or what happened with it? I'm just curious at this point.
Great question. It is out there, but it is just, oh
Just
gosh, it
sitting there,
is.
probably.
Yeah, exactly. So for apps, you have to pay Apple Store to
Mhm.
keep your app out there. And I didn't pay for the last payment because I thought, oh gosh, like I don't know. It's also a tourism related app, so it's the worst timing at the moment.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so it's still there, but it doesn't really work.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, thank you for sharing that. And Venice, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at yourentrepreneuresources.com. I'm at Your Entrepreneur Resources everywhere. So Instagram, my podcast is also called Your Entrepreneur Resources. I love chatting with people, just like what I said earlier. So feel free to connect with me through DMs on Instagram.
And I will make sure, Venice, that all of those links are in the show notes so people can just click there and find you. And thank you so much for sharing your story today. I love learning about what you did, even from going to a boarding school when you were, just in elementary school across the world. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you love the show, we'd appreciate a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform and show us some love there. Have a great rest of your day and bye for now.